Ooh, ooh. Good evening. I know some of you are in here already, but we're not. Good evening. Good evening. Had a little technical issues, so I had to change the start time to 8:15. So so we're early, late. Uh, there's someone to blame for that, but we won't mention who because
It was not
it's
me.
pointless mentioning who because there's no need to blame. Good evening, Jen, Nicole, Laura, Anna, Nancy. How is everyone? Howdy do? How do? Hey, Leather. Leather. Hey, Heather. Susan, how are you? Sarah, Vicky Stone, Marie, how you doing? So, hey, Teresa, we hope all is well with you guys too. Karen, how you doing? Again, I'm not sure anybody watching from Florida, but all we can do is be there with you. Hope you guys made it through okay. I know there's a lot going on there, but I hope everyone's okay.
Yeah,
Barbara,
I see a
how
lot
are
of people
you?
posting they haven't heard from certain people, and then they finally. And I just actually heard from my father for the first time today, just shortly. So
Hello,
get it.
Allison. I'm glad you're enjoying this group. That's good. John McGinnis, how are you? Yeah, Allison, there's a lot more to see. This is just going to be uh, a talk about today. We're going to go over the palm reading. That's a whole nother treat. We tried to have um, Shannon, who is the reader that is going to be joining us at the Burlington prison, um, November 12th. We tried to have her on, but she's not. Hey,
shy.
Dana, how are you? She wasn't. She really didn't want to do the live interview, so we're just going to play the clips. Hey, Deb, how you doing? Of the reading from Chris and I that she did, which again I just watching, so I was cutting it, trying to make it fit the format. I had a StreamYard only lets you 200 megabytes. It lets you post that video, that length of video, that size of video, I should say. So those videos were a little longer, like 6 minutes. Hers was six, mine was four because someone messed up. But I had to cut it in different pieces too. So it's hers is going to be a three-parter. Mine's only a two-parter because she messed it up. And you'll be able to see pretty much the whole reading from mine, but it isn't the complete reading because someone
Hey, Dana.
you have to actually hit the record button when you're holding.
If you guys don't see John after tonight,
so if
don't
you
worry
don't
about
hit the
it.
record button, it doesn't record. So
You,
a little
yeah.
weird thing that happens.
John may not be appearing anymore after tonight, so relish it.
David, no worry. Yeah, so we're going to show you the actual palm readings that were done for the two of us later on. For now, today we were invited to tour yet another old building, South Jersey ish, not far from the Burlington prison, which is where we're going again, November 12th. This building dates back to 725. From what we hear, a few people did die in the building. There is activity. They've seen things. They feel weird there. They been waiting for a paranormal group to come in. It's one of those things where they didn't pursue it until now. So we were invited to the building about an hour and a little bit over an hour, a little less than an hour away from us. We were met there by, again, the director and her husband, I'm assuming, whose name is also John. And John used to be a paranormal investigator back in the day. So it was good to talk to him because he actually has an idea of what we do and how we do it. And we were able to tour the entire building, deceiving this building. You can tell there's some room in there from the outside, but there's more room in it once you get inside. There's a whole lot of different areas. They were showing us the area where the previous owner, who was a tenant, actually passed away, and they showed us where her funeral was, where the coffin was laid out. Yeah, it said owner slash tenant. She lived there. And no, you don't guess where it is because you won't guess it for sure.
Nope.
This building hasn't been mentioned, and we have the luxury of being contacted by places, and they're kind of new to the paranormal stuff. There's things going on there, but they're not sure if they want to be known as a haunted place. So we have the luxury of getting contacted by a lot of places that haven't been investigated by people that aren't recognized by the paranormal community yet. So this was another one of those buildings where they hadn't had anybody in yet. They were experiencing things, so they called us. We got a call, and we went there and we toured the building top to bottom. And people are always waiting for. I guess they think that automatically paranormal people have like medium abilities or sensitive.
Yeah.
Or sensitive, and it's always the question, are you feeling anything? Are you feeling anything in that room? Are you feeling anything in this room? And there are times when that happens where,
oh yeah, you can feel it if there's a heavy vibe
Yeah,
somewhere. Like
sometimes,
a regular person can walk into a house and feel uncomfortable or,
not everywhere all the time though.
that I'm not saying that, but when you walk into a house that, you know, where somebody had just had a fight, there's tension and people can tend to feel it. It's called your intuition. Everybody has a natural intuition.
But it's not like that kicks in every building all the time.
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. So
No.
we're walking through, and there was like two areas where we both kind of agreed that the energy was a little different. One was where the actual funeral was held for this person, and the other is the basement. I love the basements that are half cemented and half dirt. That was like that demon house that Zach Baggins did, where the only area that wasn't cemented was under the stairs where they were digging. This basement has an area where
it's a good size area.
All of a sudden it's cement, and then there's dirt for like what, 7-8 feet
easily.
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that area is really, really creepy down there. And even the people that are in that building, have been in that building, say these are the creepy areas. So it was cool. Again, we talked to them for a while. Hey, Muchacha, how are you? Hey, Amanda. So we talked to them for a while, talked to 3 different people about things that they experienced there or they heard about there. This is another one of those locations where at one time at its height, when this building was built and the land was purchased, it was 300 acres.
Possibly 600. They were debating back and forth that they actually think there's older records that show that the land grant or from back in that day was in the 1600s was 600 acres.
And they were saying how there was the family cemetery somewhere on the property. They don't know where it is, and also a servant cemetery somewhere on the property where they don't know where it is. So I mean, a lot going on there. And so, hey Jennifer, so we we're going to schedule a day where we investigate it. We already told them we're going to come in like we always do. And we're probably going to stream it live when we do it. It's probably not going to be till January. We're going to finish this year with, hey, Dorothy, we're going to finish this year with the events that we have to do first. There's a lot of them from now till December. So we're going to finish all that. And then January, we're going to roll into a bunch of live investigations and doing some events, maybe like 1 January, 1 February. We've already talked about doing Liberty Hall probably in January. William W.M. Robinson, which is in Clark, that'll probably be February, and then we're going to go from there. But we'll be doing live investigations in between that stuff to kind of, I like doing that. Winter's great for just going into buildings and.
Well, I got to be honest with you, after the experience of having at Liberty Hall and being in that cellar for the first time, I can't wait to get back there.
Love the live story. Yeah, I kind of set it up that way. Hey, Celine, that we hit our stride with events where we're rolling and rolling in the expo and we're rolling and rolling. Yeah. But I like winter time because I know people are home. I know we're all kind of cold, especially in this part of the country, and there's not much going on. So that's when I like going out and doing the live event. And we're going to kind of hit the circuit again. We've got new places that we're working with. We have probably more that are going to be coming in next year.
Yep.
So that'll be a good time, January, February, March, to do these live investigations so you guys can watch them.
Yeah. Real quick, Wendy, did you leave a sweater at the, what is it, the Innskeep? If you did a sweatshirt, just say yes and I'll know it's yours. If not, then I know it's someone else's. I just wanted because she's on here.
Okay. Again, off the highway.
I don't. Hey,
let's
he-
get back on the ramp. And
He's on the highway.
Here
I'm the
we
one
are
that
back
took a
on
detour,
the
and
highway again.
We all can survive with it.
So again, that's today was a pretty cool tour that came out of nowhere. So really nice people. Jockey Hollow, no idea where that is. She said she didn't. So.
Okay, Wendy.
So that came out of nowhere. Really cool to do. Really nice people. And I made the comment after last weekend, and I'm going to get to the Creeper Gallery in a minute, that investigation, but I made the comment on our page and on my personal page. Last weekend, we did the psychic fair. We did Liberty Hall, and we did Van Horn. And that weekend alone, we raised over $3,000 or more for 3 different locations. It was probably
way more than that.
And again, we don't make any money. We do it because these people are our friends and we support these different locations. But we're happy to do that. And that the building we were at today is another in those lines of really old places. They need support, and we're happy to support them. But again, the catalyst is that, the building is active. They have to have reports or claims of activity, and they got to be good people. We only work with good people and people that we like. If a location is going to treat us like we're hired guns, like some have that we're no longer with, so that should give you a hint. If you don't see buildings that we used to do that we are no longer doing, is because there was an issue that we can't get into. But we support the people who are friends and that the people that appreciate what we do.
That's mutual respect.
So answers that any question. So anyway, Creeper Gallery. We did the live Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Sure my shirt looks like it's all over the place here. I said this shirt makes me look fat. And
oh my!
I don't like the way it fits me.
Oh my! Lord save me from this man, please.
So we did the Creeper Gallery Tuesday night. Again, it was just the 2 of us. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They're not all home runs. You don't know what's going to happen with one object to the next. Donna asked us to go to the accordion again, and Chris actually played the accordion. You might want to go back and watch that video. I didn't know she's like a savant. She's so accomplished. She just picked that thing up and was played a death funeral march or what. I gotta clip that because it was just like
so much this man has no knowledge of when it comes to me. None.
But she was playing it, and we probably should have played it before we started because it probably would have ramped up the activity more. But there was a little bit there.
It was your death march.
Probably was. There was a little bit more there. We got some stuff, but that's one of those pieces where I think it's going to take the right person asking the right question to 100%. Really kind of engage with that person. What was her name? Bessie? That was her stage name, right? Bessie was her stage name.
Bessie was her stage name. Her name was Barbara Elizabeth.
Yeah, I knew there was Elizabeth in there somewhere. But that was the one, again, I wasn't sure, but I don't want us to do it, so we did it. So then the other doll, that was the one that I had the vibe about.
You did.
And when I get those vibes, I'm not always on point. But
you're pretty on spot.
I'm pretty much there.
You pretty usually get it.
Gotta tell you what happened. Well, that's again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
But don't derail.
No. So that doll, I kind of had a feeling about it, and that doll was pretty active.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, engaging with, what was weird about that doll.
She let you know the no when she didn't want you to move her.
Yeah,
or do what she had no.
Yeah, she was really kind of, and I like that because set the boundaries, let us know what you're willing to do, and we'll work with that. And you couldn't sit her down because I guess the spring or whatever's inside there doesn't allow for that kind of bending.
Yeah.
So she's kind of straight up and down, but I definitely felt the presence of that person for sure when that doll was there. And I always worry because, there's a point of connection and then there's a point of good touch and bad touch. There's good interaction and bad interaction. Good interaction is it's okay to feel cold. it's okay to say some stuff if you don't want to be whatever, and you're kind of letting us know. It's okay when you feel them.
But how about when you kept hearing the clacking, like
That
her
was
limbs were
pretty,
moving,
yeah.
and her arm moved. You saw her leg move.
I saw her leg move.
And then her arm moved.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
But it was in your lap.
I wish I caught the leg on video, because it was one of those things where was setting her up, and I'm looking at her on the stand, and I don't know, but I was fixated on, because one foot was kind of turned around and the other was this way, and I'm fixated on the legs, and the leg went right in front of me.
Yeah, and you were the only one that got to see that, because what about when you put it on your lap and it seemed like it literally just turned its head right into your chest? Literally turned its head right into your chest.
See, I didn't see that. I just saw where she was, and I saw.
No, she was looking straight, and all of a sudden it was just like I looked over and she's literally like.
They said they saw it too.
And you saw it too. You see,
the hand went from being like this on my leg to sliding right back, right in front of me, and I didn't move. I purposely wasn't moving because I didn't want to be the one who influenced that and make it seem like I was just kind of, doing it for entertainment purposes, but. That's a really cool doll. There are items like, again, the curiosity in me would love to give that another go around, and the helmet and others, but I know enough to just, if they give us a good interaction the first time, be happy with that and kind of move on and talk to somebody else.
And she wanted to be put away.
There. Yeah.
She was ready to, she didn't want to do anything more. She was done. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
John Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Who was there?
John Bob.
Who was there who named it John Bob? I think it was Nicole. Was it Nicole? Who was there that night we did the live event? Nicole and Brianna weren't there.
No.
Somebody was there who we know and who are from. Maritza.
Yeah.
Maritza was there with Sean.
Yeah.
And that puppet.
Oh, my God.
She came to me and she said, John, there's a puppet back there that looks just like you.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? Where? So I went back there and I saw John Bob. And somebody said his name was Bob. So I started calling him John Bob because he looked like me. John Bob was pretty darn active. There was some good stuff with John Bob too. And again, I don't know that person's name, but you always love it.
And it turned out it's a puppet. We thought it was a doll. It's a puppet. And I don't know if you noticed, but
it's wood carved, right?
Yeah, it is. And when you turned it over and you saw between the legs, that's where the stick went in. I know. The stick where they like moved it around. And
you better stop doing that because it looks really uncomfortable where the stick's going in.
Hey.
But yeah, that was a really cool doll. That's a doll that if I was allowed to, and I'm not allowed because to have my own collection, John Bob would be in there.
He can have all the collection he wants. He just can't have it here.
Yeah, John Bob would be in there for sure. I felt the connection.
He can rent himself a storage.
I felt the connection to John Bob. John Bob would be one that I'd be happy to speak to again. We're putting together the the lecture that we're doing at the library on October 19th and October 25th. We're doing 2 different library lectures, one in Clark, one in Linden. And Clark is cool because my son lives in Clark, so I drive to see him. I see the sign on the library that says, at New Jersey Paranormal on 10/25. And anyway, I'm putting together a haunted objects lecture, and I'm using clips from the Creeper Gallery. There's so many that we've done through the however many years we've been there, but my mind is programmed for the bad stuff.
It is. We tend to be drawn.
We're literally driving home, and I'm thinking, boy, the clips I would like to use is the curse box, the cape,
the sensors,
the Latin, the book that's written in Latin, and the Martha Margaret doll. Those were the 5.
Oh.
I'm like, right off the bat, where I'm like, those are.
What were those other dolls that you?
Oh, the Hagen
dolls.
Those were the 6 that I was like, I remember them like they're yesterday, those investigations, but every one of them have a dark attachment or a negative attachment. So then we're going back and forth, like, what were some of the good ones that we did that were kind of positive and kind of good interaction? And we said to Kepi. Kepi was good because he gave me his name, his rank, first name, last name. But then we're like, well, what else?
The Kepi. the the book that Kelly got me, where the mother that wrote the letters, her journal to her children.
Yeah, that was a good
That's such a
feel-good
gentle
object, but I
but
don't
that's
remember.
a gentle, good spirit. That's what you're asking.
So.
You don't remember or click with those things because you're more drawn to. Good night, John Bob.
She stops mid-sentence.
But those are. What else was another that was a good one?
They said the Miner's Mask.
The Miner's Mask was the Oscar, the lunch pail from the miner was a good one.
Chime agrees with you.
Right. The suitcase that was filled with the stuff with all of the family.
Yeah, I don't remember
the hair and all that. That was, but I'm saying these are things that were good stuff. Yeah. Nothing dark.
Well, so anyway, I'm putting that together, and it's going to take a while because it's a lot of clips and it's a lot of clipping and it's a lot of finding these videos. But what I was going back to was where we were today. You know, we were finished there. It was still kind of 2 o'clock-ish, 3 o'clock-ish. We decided when we're in different areas, we go to different antique stores and we just kind of look around.
Yeah.
And we go into this antique store, and there's big. They got upstairs, downstairs. They got crap everywhere. We're walking around, and I usually kind of look around and I see if I get a vibe from anything when I'm walking around. Nothing. We're literally walking out, and I look up on the top of the shelf, and I see what looks like kind of like an African type of doll.
Oh my
sort of,
God.
kind of. And it had nails in the entire torso and all along the back. And I'm looking at it, and it was on top of the shelf. So I said to the lady working there, I said, can I see that? And at first she's like, yeah, you know. And I said, so she gets it down, and I'm like, is this what I think it is? And she goes, well, what do you think it is? I said, there are these tribal statues that are sometimes used. Ripley's Believe It or Not has a really big one where they're like, people can curse people and put a nail in for intention to, like, you know, you want to hurt these people, you put the nail in, and you know the between the idol and the power of your intention, along with putting the nail, it's bad juju. So she didn't know. She goes, "Is that what that is?" I said, "I'm asking you. Is that what it is?" So the lady who owns the place came back, and she's looking at me, and she's just like, "Well, what do you want to know?" And I said, "I think this is one of these idols with the bad intentions." I said, all these nails in the front and the back were made by people who had an issue with somebody or wanted to wish bad stuff on them. She goes, "That's exactly what it is." And I said,
and they had 2.
So I said, how much? And the price was crazy.
Oh, it's
so
ridiculous.
I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, but no thanks. So didn't buy it. I wanted it though, because that thing was just, I couldn't imagine investigating that because right away when I touched it, I felt chill and I felt just energy. And I'm like, this thing I want to talk to. And I guarantee you. And the fact that they put it up way up high on a shelf away from everything where people, I think they might know that thing means.
Yeah. It's not for people to touch lightly. That's for sure.
Yeah, expensive bad juju. Yeah, the kind I don't like. Okay. So no, I don't know. Donna, well, I don't know if she'd spend that much money either. So now it's 25 there first. So the palm readings, we're gonna get to that. And this is again, Chris's clip is about 6 minutes total. It's 3 2-minute clips. Mine is about 4 minutes total. 2 2-minute clips. You should be able to hear it okay, but I suggest you turn the sound up because we did this at the psychic fair when there was a lot of people walking around. So to really hear what Shannon is saying, she's got a mask on too. So you got to kind of listen closely.
Yeah.
So I need to give you a museum note. You know what, Allison, I kind of agree with that in a way because, you know, these antique places or these other places, I don't know that they know the extent of what they have sometimes in their shops because, you know, a lot of these places go to estate sales or, you know, they go to other places to acquire these items. And I don't think that they take into consideration that energy could be attached to anything or everything, because like I said, that one was at least wasn't eye level.
Hidden.
Yeah,
it was hidden behind
hidden,
stuff,
like,
so it wasn't
top.
like really. And I kind of think maybe the price marker was to deter, but I wouldn't let something like that sit openly in the shop anywhere, even
well,
if it's
Hellraiser is in his head. These
and this
things,
is the body.
it's all the entire torso has nails in it, and they were on top of each other, which meant that that thing was used often. The old rusty nails. So again, the intent alone that
And
that
didn't
thing
you
was
say when you
infused
moved
with.
when they took that one down, there was another one behind it?
Yeah.
Off to the side.
They're
yeah.
probably both from the same place.
Yeah.
Probably.
Double the nah. It even looks and feels like it, that it's just not right.
So I'm gonna play Chris's palm reading first, so you guys get a. I wish we could introduce you to Shannon. Shannon's been doing this a while. Shannon's really, really nice, really, really knowledgeable. She's really like in 10 minutes she does like a speed reading. She's like blah 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 blah. You'll see for
like
yourself.
You expect.
And she's gonna, like I said, she'll be at the Burlington prison with us. You can meet her, but only the first 25 people are going to get free readings. After that, you could, I'm sure, reach out to her and find out where she's going to be and schedule a reading with her. But really, really good. So I'm going to find the video without my phone falling down. 2 seconds here. And this video is Chris number 1. So this begins the Chris reading. So turn it up. Turn up the volume. I'll give you a minute. Do it. Do it. All right. Ready?
All right, you have a lot of lines on your hand. Right off the bat, you have a lot of lines on your hand. Okay. You have a tendency for people pleasing, wanting to put others' needs ahead of your own, wanting to take care of other people even if it's to the detriment of yourself, putting others' needs ahead of yourself.
Sure that's not me?
It's
just asking.
To take care of other people, but make sure you're taking care of yourself first. You can't fill from an empty cup, so make sure you're taking care of yourself before you take care of other people. Otherwise, you're very adaptable, go with the flow personality. Whatever life hands you, find a way to flex, adapt, and roll with it. You like the idea of a plan, liking your particular plan or order. You're flexible about how you get there, but you have an idea about where you want to get. This is a teacher square. That means you're good at explaining concepts to people, imparting knowledge to people, teaching, training, explaining. These are caregiving lines. That is you taking care of someone else. That can be someone older, someone younger, a bunch of animals. But that's you investing time, energy, and emotion into another living thing. A byproduct of that is nervous tension and anxiety. You care, you worry. They go together. Okay. This is your love line. It's long. You put a lot of yourself into your relationships, all in, 100%. You get along with a lot of different types of people, and you'd like a best friend out of your partner. All in. You do anything for your partner. You like the idea of a strong personality. You get along well with strong personalities. You may even break gender norms in some way, shape, or form. Working in a male-dominated field or being a feminist, something to that extent. Breaking gender norms. Okay, you have a little bit of an Apollo line here. That's owning property, young, or having a place that you go to for solace and recharge. That's your own space. This is your headline. You're impulsive. Screw it. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? You only live once. You should try everything once. So this fork here is a writer's fork or an artist's fork. That's an appreciation and enjoyment of the arts. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot of things. You're very, very busy. Watch out for the tendency for burnout because you're doing too many things at the same time. Make sure you're leaving time for yourself to recharge. You cannot do 10 things at once. It's physically impossible. You can do like 3 max. So focus on quality over quantity and make sure that you're scheduling time to refill and recharge.
All right. Part 2.
Uh-oh.
You cannot do 10 things at once. It's physically impossible. You can do like 3 max. So focus on quality over quantity and make sure that you're scheduling time to refill and recharge. You're very, very busy. So this is the area where your lifeline occurs, and you've got a lot of lines going on here. So normally the line is one line that goes like this, curves around the base of your palm. I don't see any senility issues. Good for Alzheimer's. No Alzheimer's, no dementia. Good for senility. But you have many lines here. So that could be doing multiple things, doing multiple jobs, living in multiple places, like just being really, really busy. Again, you want to make sure you're scheduling time to refill and recharge. This is a fate line or a life path line. That's you finding something you get enjoyment and identity out of, a hobby, a religion, your job, your family. It's something you participate in on a regular basis that makes you who you are. God, you're super busy. Okay, you have a lot of lines on your hand. You want to make sure that you're giving your brain a chance to calm down. This is brain activity. Your brain's very active, going. So make sure that you schedule some time to refill and recharge your brain. Some ways that I would suggest are meditation, yoga, massage. I like aromatherapy. It's like cheap, it smells nice. You get a bathtub, some bath, salts or some suds. Super easy. Coloring books, adult coloring books. Clinically proven to reduce anxiety and depression. So color. All right, this is the past. They say 18 and younger. I just say past. You had a plan for how you wanted your life to go. I want to have this. I want to do this. I want to be this. I want to live here, etc. Now, there's that flexibility in there. You still have an idea of where you want to get, but you're flexible about how you get there. But when you were younger, it was like, no, I have a plan. And this is the plan. Always putting other needs ahead of yourself. Always taking care of others. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Can't fill from an empty cup should be a mantra. Take care of yourself, and then you can take care of others. Always been a caregiver. Nervous tension and anxiety is always going to go along with that. Always been good at teaching, training, and explaining.
All right, part 3, because Chris made sure she got the longer reading. So,
Oh my
part 3.
Lord.
There's a lot happening here. Okay. So this is your love line. Always gotten along with a lot of different types of people. Always wanted the best friend out of your partner. When you were younger, you liked the idea of a soulmate. Watch out for that. Soulmates are perfect. People are not. So you will get let down or disappointed if you're expecting a person that will predict your thoughts or be perfect in some way. People are not perfect. There's also this tasseling here. Flirty McFlirterson, very outgoing, but within your friend circle. And it seems as though you were picking on some level. They had to meet some kind of criteria, have something in particular, do something in particular, make you feel a particular way. But it's like that romantic notion seemed to take precedent. Headline has a lot of chaining, trouble focusing, trouble concentrating. That could be a byproduct of doing too much. It could be a learning disability, or it could just be stuff happening in your life that makes it hard to focus. Grief does that too, creates chaining on the headline. Anything like that. Again, it's very short, impulsive. Screw it, let's see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? You only live once, try everything once. Lifeline has the same thing. It has this block here, this big chain. Trying to do too many things or some kind of issue within your past, probably between the ages of 14 and 16, some kind of period where you had to work through some kind of ish. You have good support, though. All these lines are support. So that's people that step in and offer you emotional support, monetary support, a place to stay, or their opinion, whether you want it or not. It could be friends, family, or both. That looks good. You still have that fate line or that life path line. It seems to be a lot towards that romantic area. Being a romantic. It seems as time has passed, you've gotten less focused on how gaining your appreciation out of other people. It's not so much anymore about what other people can give you. You're realizing that you have a lot to give yourself, it seems. You can rest this hand. But it looks good. All right, so the takeaways that I would say is make sure your cup is filling. Take care of you before you take care of others. And it looks good. Coloring book, bubble bath, more often.
Got it.
How'd I do?
You hit it on the head. That was unbelievable.
I would have liked to heard more positive stuff about me, but that's okay. So what I heard was very vanilla. I mean, not much there. It was just ordinary reading, I heard learning disability in there too. I didn't realize that was
Or grief, yeah, boo, which we know that I lost.
I know.
So it was not being able to focus because of grief, you boo boo.
Telling you what I heard.
Let me tell you.
Learning
Guys, if you don't see him in this next segment at all.
So then, as we did with the aura segment, we knew that when I stepped up that it was going to be, these, there they are. I mean, do you feel that? Feel that?
You're going to need those palms.
So we knew that. So we had literally done, she does like 10-minute readings in total for $10. It's not expensive. And we had done about 7 minutes before someone said, could you do it again? I was filming. So you're going to be able to see what happened with my reading, and I'll let you judge for yourself who had the better
Although he's
for
preset you,
better
right?
puns.
Along with a lot of different types of people, always wanted the best friend out of your partner. It tassels, so you were a flirty McFlirterson, especially when you were younger. You've always been very passionate. Again, don't bottle that stuff up. Make sure you're processing it. Headline a little bit curvier on this side, more creative. You become more logical as you've gotten older. Maybe that's out of necessity because you're doing a lot and you have to logically arrange it. You can't get overly creative and lost in fantasy. Well, when you're younger, it seems like fantasy was something, your way of thinking. Always got something you got enjoyment and identity out of. I don't know if it's the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, this one's subtly different. It could be the same thing, or maybe you're doing more of it. Started when you were younger and now you're just doing it more. You can relax this hand for now. Lifeline looks good. All right, so it gets a little chaotic right before the age of 17 or so, somewhere between the ages of 16 and 20. There's some kind of chaotic of people maybe going away to school, maybe the adjustment period of like
something for sure.
But it looks good. All right, you want to make sure that you are taking time to take care of yourself first before you worry about others, and find some way to chill out your brain. How'd I do?
I think I'm
Great.
better.
Real
win.
quick, because this wasn't recording the
Mine was better.
first part. Can you real quick just say what his right here, his right hand?
What about it?
Just go back over real quick. Just yeah, but it wasn't recording. I didn't know you shut it off, but I got the other part.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Just did that.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay.
So literally, there was 5 minutes of reading on my one hand before she finally
I had no idea.
said,
I just happened to look down.
could you just do that again? I mean, she literally 5 minutes was going into my life. So
what he
now,
doesn't tell you, he hands me the phone after he shut off the
but
recording.
why
But he
would I
didn't.
stop recording after I finished with you? Why would I leave it recording?
I don't know.
Again, you heard what she said about me. Logical.
Did you hear that my
passionate,
brain is always
logical,
busy?
passionate?
I'm always
You heard all
thinking,
that stuff,
doing,
right? So
multitasking.
here's part 2 where she speed rounds through what she spent 5 minutes doing the first time.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Flip-flopping a lot. If you're 60% sure about something, that's as sure as you're going to get. Don't worry about reaching 100% certainty. 60 is your 100. Always going to be good at multitasking, working a day job, working a night job, working multiple jobs. Tendency for people pleasing. Watch out for the tendency to people please. Putting others' needs ahead of yourself. Make sure you are scheduling time to refill and recharge. You cannot fill from an empty cup. Make sure you take care of yourself before you take care of others. People see you as a very creative and independent person, someone that doesn't need oversight, capable of overseeing yourself, good at learning through independent study, good at teaching yourself through observation. Always been good at teaching, training, explaining, teacher square. Always been a caregiver, taking care of others. Someone older, someone younger, a bunch of animals, investing time, energy, and emotion into another living thing. Nervous tension and anxiety is going to go along with that. You care, you worry. That is the girdle of Venus. That is that tendency to feel things very, very passionately. If you bottle it up, there will be an explosion. So process those emotions. Love line is very long. Put your whole self into relationships, all in 100%. You get along with a lot of different types of people. You'd like the best friend out of your partner, all in. Headline's very logical, straight, A plus B equals C. You put a lot of thought into things. You're not impulsive. You think things through. Watch out for the tendency to overthink or overanalyze or rehash the same thing. Lifeline looks good. Busy. You have a good support network. People that step in and offer you emotional support, monetary support, if they say, or their opinion, whether you want it or not. You have that fate line or that life path line. So you've always had something you get enjoyment and identity out of. It's a big part of your life. Hobby, religion, job, family. And you're attracted to strong personalities, people with very strong personalities. Watch out for the tendency of the negatives that go along with that. Narcissism, possessiveness, jealousy, manipulation. When you interact with those strong personalities, that comes along with it.
All the time.
Well, it's really good. Make sure you're scheduling time to refill and recharge in some way because your brain's very active.
Thank you, Shannon. Awesome.
Again, better. Just like the aura, I think I win this one too.
I don't think there's winners.
See? Superior. Winner, heads.
I heard you had great support. That's what I heard.
No, I didn't hear that at all.
I heard you had great support. That's what I heard with that reading.
No, mine was better. She clearly said it to me afterwards too. She was just like,
No, she didn't.
she said, and this was her exact
This
words.
is his makeup.
She
stuff.
said that somewhere, somehow, they found pictures of Jesus's palm print in the sand, and it was kind of in mud, and somebody took a picture or sketched it, and then they matched it up with these, the paranormal savior, and she said, with the exception of one or two little lines, identical. Identical. So I knew that before.
And I'm the saint.
I knew it beforehand. So
I'm the support. You got that right.
I won.
You got the
I
support.
think I won that one too.
You know.
So I won that one too.
You exhaust the support system
Yeah.
all the time.
I won that one too. So interesting. Again, I like Shannon. I've known Shannon for years, and I normally I won't sit down for a reading with anyone ever. Chip
No.
Coffey was the only one who kind of gave me a reading that I appreciated and, you know, really meant a lot, because he did say things that he never would have known.
No.
But I knew Shannon. Again, we just went over to her and we were just like, you know, she wasn't that busy at the time. She was busy most of the day, but we said $10, $20 for two of us. Let's just do this and let's film it. And we were going to show it here. So,
and that's courageous to do that, because where John and I are used to getting in front of a camera or in front of things in video, and it's second nature. I mean, when somebody is shy, like someone, and I understand this because I had to work to get myself out of the shell. But when you're
me too.
shy,
I was very much in
oh
the
yeah,
show.
you're shy.
I mean,
all
I'm
right.
still in the show.
But when you're shy and I'm like Shannon, we do really well with one-on-one. And to ask somebody all of a sudden to boom, like be in the spotlight, that's unnerving. And yet you saw how phenomenal she did. I mean, I've always been impressed with Shannon. Shannon's just amazing.
No, we are both very supportive of each other.
Yes, we are.
More so me than her, because it's just, you heard the palm reading. I mean, it's in there. You know, this line here.
It didn't say.
I think this line is a supporting line. This one that goes straight across there. That's supporting line. So, to John's office, treading on. Speaking of John's office,
thank you, Vicky.
we, going back to the meeting that we, again, somebody that just popped into my head because you mentioned John's office. Going back to our meeting, we did have a meeting on Wednesday morning, which involves this thing that we're working on, this project that we're working on, and it's a slow process. These things take time, and we've been working on this for a while with these people specifically for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
And so we had a meeting with actual production people, and I can't say a whole lot about it, but we're talking, going back and forth about different ideas and different people who are involved in this type of thing. And the people we're working with are very knowledgeable.
Getting ducks in a row.
They've got shows on the air, and they're on our side, and they're pulling for us. But the process itself, again, without getting too deep into it, I can't really say too much, but it's really interesting having meetings with people who represent TV, who are on TV, who have TV shows on the air, because it's just interesting to hear their point of view. It's interesting to hear their take on different things.
Seeing behind the curtain.
Yeah,
so to speak.
because the perception is different, from our side, because we're people that do this, and we do these live videos, and we do these live investigations. And, we were on Kindred Spirits, and we got a little bit of taste of the production side, but that was a paranormal TV show that was already in place, and they already had their formula and the way they did things. This is sort of now putting something together with different people who we haven't worked with before, and we don't really know. So it's like I said, the process itself, depending on where it goes or where it doesn't go, has been really, really educational and interesting, because, the ideas sometimes aren't always the same, but
No.
the goal is the same, and it's just a matter of how you get there and what you use to get there. So, like I said, for me, I take all that stuff in and I think about it afterwards, and I replay the meetings in my head. And um, what's good about these meetings are every one is a step forward. So we're not really going backwards.
No.
We're not in limbo.
No.
Each meeting progresses things a little further. So 2 weeks from now, there's going to be another meeting that doesn't involve us, that involves more TV people. And, we should know more then. But it's really, like I said, we're probably further along than we've ever been.
Oh, we are
with this stuff.
definitely.
We've done pilots before, we've done sizzles before, and something happens.
And they believe in us.
Yeah, and these people have our backs, but like I said, it's really, really interesting to hear the TV end of it as opposed to just the paranormal end. That's when you're kind of like, okay, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it, because there is a method to what they do and how they do it.
Yeah.
And I talked to John Zaffis about these, TV shows and being involved in his experience in that, because he'll always tell me, because I always say to him, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to be 53 next month. If I'm not, the goal isn't to be on TV. That it would be great to do that, because we throw conventions. We're around these people. It'd be good to be out on a bigger platform, New Jersey Paranormal, and to do what we do and have a bigger audience. But talking to him, he was 54 when he got on TV, and he always tells me, you've got to kind of work with, the people who are involved. You can't just have a mindset and be like, okay, this, what I think. No, you've got to be open to different ideas and different people's spin on what you're thinking. And I think we've reached that point between all the people involved. I think we are kind of like, okay, this is kind of the path, and let's see where that goes. Again, I know this is all cryptic, but I try to keep you guys in the loop as far as what we're doing and when we're doing it. I think that's part of the community that we've built here with different people that follow us and friends of ours, is that, we can't tell you everything. I can't tell you verbatim what we're doing and how we're doing it and who's involved, but I can at least allude to the overall.
Just so you guys have a little bit of an idea what's going on. But Alyssa would like to know, Allison, sorry. When you have the time, could you please announce the Burlington prison date again?
What is that date?
I believe it is November 12th or 13th. He does this on purpose.
See, you read.
But that's the meet and greet.
This is my aggravation
Meet
line.
and greet?
That one goes straight up.
Mine is so much bigger than his, trust me. So the meet
12th.
and greet.
Thank you.
It is the 12th. I said the 12th.
And
Then you looked at me like I'm a nut
You questioned
job.
yourself and said,
Because you looked
or
at me in a way
13th.
like,
You
is it
You had
really?
no confidence in
See what he
in
does?
your answer.
See what he does?
So that's why I know
Because
you really
when I
didn't
do
know.
feel confident, he goes, "No, you're wrong,
No,
wrong."
I can tell you didn't have confidence
Oh my
in that
God.
answer.
But do you see what he does? Do you see that little nyeh that he does? But yeah, so that November 12th, and it's from 12 to 5 o'clock, and the first 25 people that come and pay the $5 at the door and that money supports the Historical Society.
It's a donation to the Historical Society is what it
and
is.
you get to tour the prison and check it out and go, and you can come and meet and greet us. That will be there. And Shannon, for the first 25 people that are walking in the door, she's doing palm readings.
And you'll be able to get exactly what we got. I mean, a 10-minute reading from Shannon for free if you're one of the first 25 people. So that's really cool. But like she said, that's November 12th. We'll be there, of course, before 12 because we have to set up and do things. But it'll be a day that we're just hanging out and hanging out with the people that, support us, that follow us, that come to visit the prison, who maybe had never seen it before. And even if you did see it before, come hang out again, go take another tour. That prison, and again, we caught on there late, and that was, I'm not a big fan of, like I said, going somewhere that everybody else has gone. I mean, I do want to go to certain places like Waverly and all these others, but I like new places. That's what I'm kind of drawn to. And Burlington Prison had been investigated by everyone in Jersey forever. The groups that came before us, the groups that around when we were around. So I kind of didn't really go there. And then here's a little behind the scenes, just so you guys know. And again, people are probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but I don't care about any of that. Burlington Prison, groups can rent the building. They go through the county. You pay a fee. You can rent the building with a certain amount of people to go hunt for a certain amount of hours. A lot of places do that. We don't do that. That's not the way we go in there. See, they rent the building. They charge a higher ticket price so that they make money and they can pay for the rental. That's what most people do. Or groups just rent it and they go ghost hunt in there for themselves.
Right.
We have partnered with the Historic Society like we do with a lot of different historic society. So they pay a reduced fee for the rental. We charge what we charge for ticket prices, and all of that money goes to the Historic Society. So every time we're there, it's money we're donating.
Which is reinvested into the prison.
Well, yeah. And that's, again, that's money we donate to the Historic Society. There's $5 for every person that comes. And last time we were there, 200 people came. That money went to the Historic Society. That was $1,000. It helps, if they need things, and so that's why we do it. And when the open house idea came up again, like I said, we were late to the game. Burlington Prison, for those of you who don't know, a lot of people died in that prison.
Yeah.
In its existence. People from sickness, people from murder, people were hanged in the courtyard. There were 7 people hanged in the courtyard. You could go toward that area too, behind the actual prison. Now, I say this a lot if you don't know, if you've never been there. They didn't have a guy whose job it was to build the gallows. They would hire a carpenter, and they would just build something that they thought resembled. And a lot of this stuff didn't work right the first time. These people died excruciating deaths. It wasn't like you see in a movie, click, broken neck,
wasn't
dead.
pretty.
They would hang there for 20, 30
Or
minutes.
some would
sometimes.
swing like for 20 minutes back and forth, and it was horrible.
So, but these were murderers. Some of these people were brutal murderers, and they deserved what they got, in my opinion. But their energy is present in that building.
Yeah.
Along with the energy of, there was a double murder in the basement. The warden and a trustee were this other guy, Assay, right?
Yeah, Assay.
Henry, was it?
Henry Assay.
Or Harry. He was arrested for drunken disorderly. He would have been out in a few hours.
Yeah.
They put him like in a holding cell in the basement. He got out. He went into the boiler room, grabbed like a poker or something, laid in wait. He knew the warden. He had an issue with the warden. So he waited until the warden came by with one of the trustees and bludgeoned him. And the warden's body, I'll show you exactly if you come where they found his body. So double murder. And then people died of sicknesses and suicide. That building has a lot of death attached to it.
And the part I like, because he knows this, because I got to find out, and it's not out in the public out where, but you can learn about it later after it's said, is that the Boston Strangler, before he was known as the Boston Strangler, was housed there.
He was only the Boston Choker back then. He wasn't.
Oh,
really,
Lord have mercy.
Before,
But no,
he
he was housed there
Strangler.
under his name, under being accused of molesting a child, and they kicked it, and he was in the military, and and then he was transported through the military to be locked up there, and the lawyers being good at what they did, they kicked it down the road because it was a single mother with a child, and she couldn't afford it, and it just kind of went to the wayside. So, and later on, he became the Boston Strangler.
So I encourage you to Google the Burlington Prison and some of the well-known people that were hanged there. And hanging was a spectacle back then. They used to do it in the streets, and then they brought it inside to the courtyard, and still they would sell tickets to it, and people would basically climb the walls of the trees and stuff to watch a hanging when it happened. Man, we're humans are crazy species, but.
And if you go, you can see on the wall where they have an actual ticket that was sold back in that time for one of the hangings. I think they had 7 total hangings before they were switched to Trenton because they said it was inhumane. So
I encourage you to Google it and come hang out again. If you've never been there, or if you have been there, just come hang out with us. It's for a good cause. It's for the Historic Society. It's for the prison. Come hang out with us. That building is another one of those places where there are several places, and a lot of them, I would say, have this in common. When the lights go out in certain buildings, it is as if you've. There's a video game called Silent Hill. For those of you who don't know video games, you wouldn't know what this is. But Silent Hill takes place in a normal town in the beginning of the video game, and then something happens where it switches to looks like bizarro version of the town where there's creatures and everything. A lot of buildings have, and Gettysburg is an example of this too. They have two different personalities. They have the during the day historical touring personality, and then you turn the lights off and you start communing with the spirits, and it gets a whole nother vibe and a whole nother energy. Burlington Prison is one of those places for sure. I love going in there and turn. I've seen the biggest shadow figure I've ever seen in my life. I've seen in the basement of that building where Henry Assay was hiding out, waiting to bludgeon the warden. This guy was 6'4". He was at least 4 inches bigger than me. And I looked over and there's a little cutout in the window that I could show you. And he was literally standing there and I could see him breathing. Yeah. He was like this, watching me. And I went to grab for my camera, gone. But very, very cool. And the day after that, where there are tickets still available, is the Halls Mills murder lecture / presentation. I think there's about 10 or more tickets left to that. I know they're selling like 40 because it's a big room.
Yeah.
So I think there's still 10, 15 tickets left to that. So if you want to come to that, it's November 13th, the day after the prison in Bridgewater, New Jersey at the Van Horn Museum. Another good one. The tickets are on sale. The link is on our page. So brought my ticket to that. That'll be interesting. Again, we were just there last weekend, and that building's active too. So if you want to come, I'm sure they'd let you take a quick tour of the building. I'd be
surprised if they didn't.
That building surprised me the last time we were there. It was really, really cool, the stuff that went on there the last time. So again, you're in a haunted building talking about an unsolved murder. And what could be better than that, you know? So that's really what we're doing. Open house. I definitely recommend that you support that and you come out and do that. The library lectures are October 19th and 25th in Linden and Clark. Again, I think it's on our page. I shared the link. They're free. Haunted object lecture. Not sure how many of us are going to be there. As of now, it's us two. I know Tanya and Kenny are going to try to be there. But the first part of the lecture will be about the group and about the things we've done and who we are. And then we get into haunted objects. And I will have haunted objects from the Creeper Gallery with me. So if you've never been and you've never seen those objects up close and personal, never gone to New Hope, I'm going to pick out probably 3 or 4 of them and have them right on the table in front so that people could come up and see them and maybe touch them.
And I'm bringing, and I actually do have a personal haunted item here in a case that's gentle and sweet.
Yes, Wendy, it was a sweat jacket.
Yes.
So it's probably yours. So
yes,
we have it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I knew it had to be hers or someone who sat next to her, so I brought it home and I have it.
All right. So Wendy, if it's yours, just reach out and we'll arrange to get it to you. But that's what's going on. I don't know what's on the jacket, but that's what's going on. And it is Thursday now. We have another event on Saturday. This one, I'm not sure where it is. I think it's at the Wyckoff Garrison House. I encourage you to go back and watch that live feed because we got the best EVP we ever got ever in that building. 2 of really the best EVPs, a murder one. And then when I was alone investigating, that's when the REM pod was going off and I got that EVP that was just crazy. So again, we'll do a live feed before to show you the building like we always do. And
good luck, David. You got an alarm. He's got to go.
And Sunday we'll come back and we'll talk about the event and what happened there. And I do want to do I want to do 2 things again. And I have to book the one. I want to have Hartke back to do the sketching again, the past life and the reading with the sketch. Yes. I want to have her back on. So if you're interested in being part of that, send us a message. What she does is she gives you a short reading and she draws a picture or sketches a picture of the person that she sees that's connected to you. So I'll reach out to her and try to get that going. We are going to schedule part 2 of Deanna Simpson about the Hanover haunting, where we go further into what happened to her in the cemetery. You know, what stuff, personal stuff was going on in
We
that
don't
house.
even know.
No. So we're going to set that up for October. These are the big October events that we're going to do. And I want to do the sharing of the paranormal stories again. So I wanted to make October a really cool month with you guys and do a lot of interactive stuff. So if you've had a paranormal experience and you're willing to share it and come on screen with us, so you're split screen, go through the page that you're on now, send a brief description, your name, what the paranormal experience was, and we'll figure out a date where that's good for you and good for us. And we'll have 2 or 3 or 4 people on, and we'll share it with the whole entire group. Again, this is community. We've had these experiences. Why not open up and talk about them? The 2 times we did it, it was awesome. I'd like to do that again too.
Oh yeah.
So that's it, guys. Done for tonight.
Stay healthy.
I'm showing them the palm again.
Stay healthy. Take care of yourself, and please be kind. I always say, it is very important today for us to show kindness to each other, because we don't know what we're going through, and it does make a difference in somebody's life, and you can be that difference in a world that's really tough right now. So good night, everybody.
Aura and palm coming at you. Feel that? That's for you guys.
High five.
That's good for you guys. Have a good night, everyone.